Hello everyone. Today I am going to show you how to prune a tomato plant to get a bumper crop. Some of you must have experienced that your tomato plant grows out of control, resulting in a little fruit on the plant. So let's find out why. There are two main kinds of tomato plants. One is called determinate tomatoes and the other is indeterminate tomatoes. So how do you distinguish a determinate tomato plant from an indeterminate one? The determinate plant stops producing their shoots or branches once it forms the flowers. So what happens next? It produces flowers, then they become fruits. They ripe all together. The determinate tomato plant has done its job. That's it. It produces fruits only once. So if you want some tomatoes quickly, or if you are short of space to grow tomatoes, you can choose determinate tomatoes, which need a little support, and it can grow in a balcony too. You do not need to prune it hard or train it like indeterminate tomatoes. All you have to do is clean up a little bit if the branches run too wide or out of control. Remember, once you harvest your first crop of determinate tomatoes, it won't produce any more. Now let's look at the indeterminate tomatoes, which are my favorite. As the name describes, the indeterminate tomatoes produces flowers and fruits, and it continues to grow until the weather turns cold. Depending on the variety, the indeterminate tomato plant can grow up to and more than 6 feet. If the weather is hot, it will keep on growing. Most popular indeterminate tomatoes are beefsteak, big boy, brandywine, sun gold, and sweet million, to name a few. So, when you use the tomatoes for canning or make tomato sauce, determinate tomatoes are good as they all ripe together. On the other hand, if you want tomatoes all round the growing season, then indeterminate tomatoes is the best. Here I have some indeterminate tomato plants. Let's look at how to maintain them to get bigger fruits. As these tomatoes grow fast, you have to prune them to encourage better and bigger fruits. So where do we start? Let's start to prune these plants at the bottom. It's a good idea to clean up the bottom of the plant to prevent touching the soil and diseases from pests. It will encourage more sunlight and air to the plant too. Prune the lower branches to minimize the bugs and pests damage to the plant, and it will encourage more sunlight to produce fruit, and air will circulate freely among the tomato plants. Now you have to get rid of the suckers to keep the main stem growing. How can you recognize a sucker? The suckers are the shoots that sprout between the tomato branches and the main stem. As you can see, it sits at about a 45-degree angle between the main stem and the leaf. When you remove the suckers, the main stem will grow strong and produce bigger and better fruits. Suckers concentrate on producing more leaves, not fruits. If you leave the suckers as is, it will grow into more leaves. Then it will result in an out-of-control plant with smaller fruits. If you need more fruits, not leaves. So, you have to keep pruning the tomato plant almost every other week. Then, you need to support the plant to grow. As you can see, I have supported these plants with some stakes here. As the plant grows, you prune the suckers and tie the stem of the tomato plant to the wooden stakes. This will help the plant to grow upwards. This way, the tomato plant gets enough sunlight to produce more and bigger fruits. One more thing, when you have a tomato plants like this, you can produce many more tomato plants out of the suckers. You just keep the top 2 to 3 leaves and plant them in another garden bed or in pots. As you can see, I planted these 3 days ago just to show you. They will become another tomato plant which will result in plenty of tomatoes. If you like what you see in my video, please give me a thumbs up. That will help me grow within the YouTube community. If you have not grown tomatoes before, I encourage you to start growing tomatoes this season. There are plenty of tomato seedlings and plants in the nurseries right now. It is good fun growing tomatoes. Even if you live in an apartment, you can grow a tomato plant in a pot on the balcony. When you plant a little seedling and care for it to become a big plant, and once you get your first tomato, you will be thrilled. I will assure you that. So, I hope you enjoyed my video. Please subscribe to my channel and join in the conversation below. If you have any questions about this video, please leave them in the comment section below. I will reply to all the questions. Until I see you in another video next Sunday, bye for now.